This is going to feel like relief for you. In fact, for many of you who have been struggling and feeling invisible, this is going to be the light in what may feel like a darkness to show you truly what actually works and why it hasn't been working for you. Because you're not behind, but now is the time for you to get started. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. Over the course of the last 40 years that I've been in business, I've worked with so many amazing people, helping them see, know, understand, and live in the space of visibility. Whether that be doctors and lawyers, multimillionaires, the heads of Fortune 500 companies, or it's people who are brand new startups, stay at home moms, people who are just starting out, who are just like you. No matter where you are in that spectrum, you have a message that needs to be shared. There is a world, there are people. In fact, there's somebody right now that is on Google or in an AI chat room or other things like that, and they are looking for exactly what you do, for exactly the solution that you do. In fact, probably for the thing that you do so easily that when we talk about what your sweet spot is and what you do in this world, that's probably not even the thing you thought about because it's too easy, right? So everybody must know how to do that. But yet, that thing, there is somebody that is looking for it and they're waiting for you to share you with them, your answers, your solutions, that stuff that you do so wonderfully, so powerfully. How you show up matters. You're not behind. Okay. Yeah. All of the messaging and all the things. There are so many people. I don't know if maybe you're on a different email chain, or maybe because of what you say into your phone or near your phone, the algorithm that really does feel like they're stalking us is showing you different things. But I know for my feed and from my emails and stuff, there are a lot of people that are forcing this thing that at the end of the day, and some of their messaging is really good. Okay. So I'm not dissing these people, but at the end of the day, it makes you feel like, oh man, I'm so far behind. I'm not where that person is. How many of you have somebody? I have a really great friend of mine that actually, her and I were at one of the very, very first events that we had ever attended live. Okay. Sort of. Let's just leave it at that story because there's a whole lot of other nuances to that. But anyway, um, you know, uh, anyway, um, and I look at where she is with her company and all the things she's done. I also look at all the pivots. Hey, Sonia, glad to have you here with us. Um, and I see how far she's come. And then I look at and compare my journey to hers. And I compare myself to her rather than what we should be doing. And that's comparing ourselves to ourselves and our journey to what the journey we've taken versus the road somebody else is on. But when I do that unfair, uneven comparison, it's real easy to buy into the feeling of, oh, wow, I'm behind. Oh, man, I totally blew it. I absolutely missed it. Okay? Because we're not looking at our own stuff. I spend a lot of time right before my birthday, so right before January 1st, really reevaluating the way that I was expressing things because I wasn't seeing me. And I know some of you can really relate to that. Quimby, glad to have you here with us. And I had to stop and look at everything. As I was outlining it, I found myself talking about the high points, but then getting restuck again in all the low points. Life has both, life really is kind of a roller coaster, right? You have this up moment, and we'd like, It's not going to happen. And it really isn't good for us. But we'd like to just be at the top of the mountain all the time, hitting on all cylinders. Everything's working. Business is totally succeeding. Money's pouring in like nobody's business. All those kind of things. That's what we'd like to have happen. Okay. Unfortunately, life isn't made to work that way. There's ebbs, there's flows, there's ups, there's down. Just as much as we breathe out, we also have to breathe in order to be able to do it. Just as much as our heart contracts and pushes the blood through, it also expands and pulls the blood back. It's that pumping motion. It's that inhale, exhale. All of those are part of how life works. But if we get stuck in the valleys, in the swamps, in the awful times, which is really easy to do, okay? 2 hands up and stand up, totally me, right? We miss the mountaintops. We miss all the stuff. We also miss, and this one's huge, we also miss all the impact that we're making when we're headed on the way down into trouble, when we're in the midst of chaos and stress and divorces and all the stuff that life brings. Okay? Many of you know what it's like. It was actually February 13th of whatever year that was, 2022, I want to say, that my father passed. And I still miss him every day. Mr. Fox, glad to have you here with you. Not wearing a dress, but thank you. It's one of those things. I wouldn't wish on him to have to live in this earth. He's in heaven now. He's in a much better place. And I said the same exact thing to him on the phone just before, his life ended. It's that kind of a situation. Okay? And so that's a down for us, but it's an up for them. That is one of those moments that you can, and I got to admit, there's parts of me that did definitely stay stuck in that loss. Never going to be made up for. It's the only dad I ever have. Okay? And even if you have step parents and things like that, it's just that kind of thing. Doesn't mean that I don't have great friends in the world. Doesn't mean that I don't have all the incredibly wonderful men that have mentored me, that have been father figures in my life as well. That's a real low moment. But on the other side of that are all the people that I massively helped just even in the early months of 2022. That whole month of February and the whole month of March. There were a lot of people's lives who I reached and I changed. A lot of marketing that we did. That's the way that it works. Visibility is the same thing. We can spend our life looking in the rearview mirror, focused on the past, and never make it into the future. Or we can go the other way with it. We can spend our whole entire life forecasting, looking at what is next week, next month, next year. I just did a post earlier today talking about 3 of the speaking events that I've already got planned between now and July. Looking for more. If you want a speaker for your event, absolutely reach out to me. I am open and want to do it. Okay. And I love putting that stuff out. But then the real grounding question becomes, what do I need to do today? You see, it'd be real easy to get lost in that. Sometimes I find myself, before we do these lives, I will find myself in the middle of working on a project. Okay. Sometimes I'm using ChatGPT or another AI to help me with it. Sometimes it's just stuff I'm doing. Sometimes I'm even writing a book, which I do via interview. I interview myself in this particular case because I've done so many of them. But, I do them the same exact way I suggest to you to do. No AI programs, none of those kind of things. Just literally turn on Zoom and start talking, start telling the story, start teaching the thing. Best way, because then you end up with a transcript that is the starting point. Now, I also will recommend to you that what you really need is a story developer, somebody that can take that raw transcript and lay it out and be like, okay, here's where we are and this is what we need. Massively powerful. Okay. But the point is that it's really easy to get stuck in those things that we're doing and miss the thing that we need to do today, the thing that will make us visible today. And that's to show up. Too often we want to look at the result of our showing up right now. We want to close the sale the moment the person walks in the door. I've heard some sales trainers that talk about, a closing style that is essentially part of your greeting. There's even something to be said for, in speaking, seeding your pitch as you even are starting out what you're saying. All of those things are true. But the truth of the matter is we buy from people that we know, like, and trust. Know, like, and trust starts from our great big beautiful smile and being visible. And the question becomes, what are you going to do today that's going to actually make you visible in a visibility that actually works for the people that want and need what you have? There's several elements to that. Number one is you need to clearly know who you're speaking to. Number two, you need to understand clearly what do they need. And then lastly, you need to ask yourself, of all the things that I could, what is the one thing that I can share with them right now, today, to make the impact, to make the difference in their life? That's clarity. And when we then have that clarity and then we add to it consistency, that's where connection comes from. Connection in our heart that we want to do with it shows up by clearly and consistently connecting with the person that we know we're meant to serve, doing it, maximizing the day that we call today. But you see, we weren't shown this kind of visibility. We're told, create this massive landing page and put it out on Facebook, for example. Do Facebook ads or do TikTok ads or, whatever it might be. Okay. And we put them out there and we spend the money and nothing happens from them, or very little happens from them. I mean, I was in an event, it's almost a year ago now. Wow, the year goes by fast. Where the guy was talking about how, yes, in the end, from the upsells and the clients that he got from it and all those kind of things, he made about $2 million. But the truth of the matter is that he spent somewhere between $200,000 and $500,000 in advertising, and he only made, in the actual sale of his books, about 50 grand. Other things that came on it, upsells and clients and things like that, that equaled $2 million. And that's pretty normal with Facebook advertising. Now the question becomes, what level of a gambler are you, I guess, really? Because, yeah, there are a lot of things you can do to hone in and have those upsells and all those kind of things. But you're talking about spending $200,000 to make $50,000. And then how do you recoup just even that ad spend, let alone make a profit off of it? Versus showing up where the people are with a real, legitimate platform that allows you to connect with them, to create know, like, and trust, and then just simply say, hey, here's one thing you can do. Just do it on your own. You don't need me to be able to do this. You don't need me to pick up the water bottle and drink water. And if you want to stay hydrated, the simple truth of the matter is you got to do that. Okay? However, if you want to know all the other things, blah, 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 here's the next thing you could do with me that are going to enhance your nutritional health, because you can't just drink 3 million gallons of water a day and have that be the end all be all. There are other elements of it. Right? That is powerfully important. So you got to understand how visibility works. How it works, we build, we sell to people, and we build the know, like, and trust from being where they are. And nothing is going to build that better than your book. They invest in it, they read it, they spend the time with you. And from that, they begin to know you and like you and build a trust with you. So they want to take the next, maybe not giant step. They may not go from buying your book for 99 cents to $10. And then the next step, oh, and now I want to pay them $10,000. No, you need to have some steps in there. But that is how visibility actually works. And you're not visible because you're not showing up where people are. You got to be there. You've got to do the things that allow you to share your message with the people who need your message where they are. Not build a whole brand new platform and then call people, draw people into your platform so they all come into your platform. Yes, Gary Vee talked about, 2026 being much, much more about having your own thing. And that is absolutely true. But you build your own thing by being where the people are, making the relationship with them, and then offering them a product, good, service community that they can be a part of because you went to them. Because they're not out looking for this new whiz-bang, really cool thing that you're building. You've got to be the one that introduces it to them. That is the heart and soul and core of getting started. And starting now really matters. If you don't have a book, you absolutely need to write a book. And we've got a process in place for you. You could be not only published, but a best-selling author this time next month. Absolutely. We've done it over and over again. 5,000 books we've worked with. We have 100% success making them bestsellers. Doesn't have to go that fast, but I'm saying it could be that quick. Okay. Secondarily, you need to then have an ongoing marketing plan. How do you keep that book top of mind on Amazon's algorithm? And most importantly, in the hands of people who are the people you're meant to reach. We've got all that in place for you. If you'd like to talk more about that, DM the word review or put it in the comments. I'm glad to, be here for you. I want to help you. You see, here's the thing. You may feel like you're late, but the truth of the matter is you can't be late to something that you didn't know even existed. You can't be late to something that nobody ever told you when it started. You can't be late to something you were never invited to. I'm inviting you to your visibility, which starts right now, and asking you, come on, let's make you visible and valuable in this world and make the difference only you can make. We're going to get together again tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about you don't need confidence. You just need confirmation. And we're going to give you that confirmation that you need to let you know and see and feel just how massively powerful you are. I look forward to meeting with you again tomorrow. And until we're together again next time, I hope you have a great week.